outskirts of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's the Joe and Joe Show with Big Joe and Little Joe.
Okay, coming at you. A lot of topics, hottest topics north of the tropics, nationally, worldwide, local. Worldwide, same old things going on. Nothing's changed in a week.
No, nothing.
Hardly. But nationally, you know it. The Mueller investigation, 22 months and about 35 minutes of this show is finally over. The illusion and confusion of the collusion is over. Nothing was there. Nothing has been there for 22 months. But they're still going to dig it up and waste a lot of time and money on it. $25 million to date has been spent on this.
And that's just the official estimate. I'm sorry. It's probably more than that. I and Joe are going to sit here and break it down for you later in the episode. Let's get to our main topics first. We're going to talk tournament. We're going to talk LSU basketball. And we're going to have an actual guest that actually plays baseball, Ethan Guerra, from all the way from Victoria, Texas, because we're going to save the Mueller stuff for the last bit of the show. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot of points I want to make, and we're not going to make them right this very second. We're going to get some other stuff out the way first.
That's right. We're going to get the little guy from Big Texas. They've started their season this week. They won 2 games, and we're going to get him on after the next break. But anyway, locally, LSU basketball moved into the Sweet 16, pulled a tough draw Friday at 11 a.m., Michigan State Spartans, NCAA basketball tournament savvy with Coach Tom Izzo. So we're going to see what the Tigers are made of. I believe everybody's throwing a lot of shade, and Michigan State's going to run the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I saw Michigan State play yesterday. It wasn't that nice. Yeah, the Tigers are in for it.
Well, I think the guard play will tell a lot, and those who make the most field goal percentage shots. But I really think, like Charles Barkley said, LSU has the best athletes in the tournament. And I know how you feel about that, Little Joe.
Yeah, that was Charles Barkley, not Gnarls Barkley, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's right. Anyway,
Hey, I mean, look, if you're paying league minimum and $100,000+ to play, you better have the best players in the tournament.
Here we go. But anyway, we wish the Tigers a lot of luck, and I think they can handle it.
Lots
to
of
get
luck.
to the Sweet 16 since 13 years ago, that's pretty good. I just hope that they're able to contain it, go out there and play their game, and not get in foul trouble. All the intangibles that go try to win a basketball game.
Go ahead.
I really wanted to say is I wonder how much Coach Wade is helping the team. Look at the assistant coaches. If they're looking at their phones, is he texting during the game? Is he talking to them? I wanted to ask Coach Wade, what are you doing Friday when the Tigers are playing since you're suspended? You can come over to the house and we'll watch the game.
Yeah, I know. You know, I'm so mad I didn't think about that first. I mean, hey, we're out eating crawfish and going to the LSU party and stuff like that. Dude, come with us. Roll with us, dude.
That's it.
You get to put your sunglasses on.
I mean, hey, look. Yeah. Innocent till proven guilty, huh? But I mean, right. That is the thing.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing to hide.
But
supposedly,
Anyway, MLB will start this week at the end of the week. A lot of baseball going to get cranked up. LSU baseball got swept in the series. Didn't get swept, but lost the series to Georgia in Georgia this past weekend. So they got their work cut out for them as they start SEC play again next weekend.
Yeah, look, let's get back to the tournament real quick. Let's talk on this Tiger basketball, okay?
Right.
They blew double-digit leads in both of the games of the weekend. When did they start? They started Friday, right?
Yeah.
Or was it Thursday or Friday? They blew double-digit leads in both of the games. Now, you can't tell me that's a problem.
But
I'm sorry, you can't tell me that's not a problem. Sorry.
That's tournament time. That could be, but they're
tournament time. What are you talking about? It's the tournament. It's the tournament.
That's what I'm saying. But their MO all season has been that, and they've come back and won overtimes and last-second shots and had bigger leads than that. Today, Tennessee had a 25-point lead and wound up winning in overtime. So it's the tournament.
Yeah, I know, but still, that should not be happening. But look, hey, we got a lot to talk about on the Joe and Joe Show. Mueller investigation, LSU basketball. We got a guest coming up in the next segment. Stay tuned, everybody. It's the Joe and Joe Show. Say
Don't
hello.
leave. Hello.
Say hello.
I got my tie on today. I guess you noticed that.
See y'all in a few.
You are listening to The Joe Show with Big Joe and Little Joe. Email The Joe Show at joejoeshowb54@gmail.com.
Okay, we're back. Imagination. And we got the little guy out of Big Texas who
That's
started
right.
their baseball season this week. Ethan Renee Guerra, 2-7, number 2-7.
Right.
Uncle Derek, what
That's
do you
it.
think about that?
Oh, I like it. I like it already.
They're 2-0. They've scored 26 runs and given up 3 in 2 games. They played Tuesday night and Saturday night.
It must be playing.
Friday.
Must be playing the B team, huh?
Who are y'all playing, E?
How was it? Victoria Dental.
Okay. And did they have anything, or y'all just that good?
They have a few players that are good, but it's just us. We have a decent team.
Yeah, I know y'all are pretty loaded as I talked to your coach, your dad. Well, how'd you do? How many runs did you score? How many times did you cross the plate in 26 runs?
I probably scored maybe 3 or 4 of the runs.
Okay, all right. Did you get any hits?
Yes. I had what was it, one hit each game.
Okay.
No. I had 2 hits the first game and 1 hit last game.
That's good. Did you walk any?
Yes, I walked 2 times, both in games.
Steal any bases?
Not 2.
2. That's good.
Hey, Ethan, how many HBPs did you get? How many hit by pitchers did you get?
None. Well,
None?
my friend got hit twice.
Oh,
in
man.
one game.
He must have not liked him. Somebody on the other team must have knew who he was or something. They'd be like, yeah, let's hit him.
You think?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How was your fielding? What position did you play?
Second and pitcher.
All right. How'd you do? Any errors?
Mm-mm.
Great. How'd you?
Well, I think I was 1. I think went under me. Oh, no, not that right.
Oh,
I know that was during warm-up.
okay.
Hey, Ethan, do y'all do that chant in the dugout, we need a pitcher, not a belly itcher, stuff like that?
No. The only thing we do if it's like 3 balls and 1 strike, we say 3-1, have some fun, walk them. Or if it's 3-2, we say 3-2, what you gonna do? Walk them.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it. That helps. But listen, how did you do in pitching? How many innings did you pitch?
I pitched 2 innings.
Okay. How'd you feel out there?
Comfortable?
Yeah. How'd you feel? I mean, did you feel
He
okay
said
on the mound?
Comfortable, Joe. He said
Yes, sir.
comfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry. Comfortable. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a
You
long.
got headphones on, Joe.
I know, but it's long distance, 400 miles away. I'm kind of hard of hearing on that part. Well, that's great. So y'all are 2-0, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. When's the next game?
Next Friday.
Okay. All right. Who y'all play?
Yankees.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all can beat those guys, huh?
We play the Northwest Yankees.
Okay. And when do you start select ball for the Titans?
Fall. Yes.
Okay. All right. You practice in the yard today, huh? What were you doing?
And just hitting drills.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, man, it's always good to talk to you, and I know school's good.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Derek.
Hey, Ethan, dude. So how's school going? Like, forget all the baseball and the football and all that stuff. How's school going, man?
Good. I have an award ceremony Monday or tomorrow.
Oh, they're giving you awards?
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, when I was in school, they gave me awards to not go to the award ceremony. You know, they're like, hey, we have a special award for you.
Yeah, they didn't want him around. That's great. What's the award are you going to get?
Top 5% in the whole VISD.
That's great.
God.
Congratulations.
Oh, man.
That's great, Ethan. I wish we were there. We had to work all weekend. I worked today, and Mama has to work, and we couldn't have made it. But listen, I sent you some stuff in the mail. Tell Daddy to check his P.O. box this week, okay?
Okay.
All right. Congratulations. We love you. Thanks for being on the show.
Yes,
You're
yes.
welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ethan. We'll see you later.
Good luck.
Okay. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye.
All right.
All right. Ethan Guerra, he's calling all the way from Victoria, Texas, on his busy schedule. I mean, he's practicing baseball and like on a Sunday.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. He's dedicated to it. I hope he continues in it. It is a good sport. Anyway.
Not only that, I mean, he said he's getting an award for top 5% VISD in the whole Victoria school district.
Yeah.
I can barely wrap my head around that.
That's amazing. You hear it when he talks. He's a well-mannered kid, conscientious, courtesy, and just all about playing baseball and being a cool kid. And he's got great upbringing right there in his house right there, which is a good thing.
Right. That's the key. All right, everybody. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be back on the Joe and Joe Show.
Coming back to the end of the collusion.
That's right.
You are listening to The Joe Show with Big Joe and Little Joe.
Email the Joe Show at joejoeshowb54@gmail.com.
Okay. Man, one day we're just going to let all this music play.
Yeah, right.
I always wanted to be a DJ.
Don't worry. We're flirting with that idea right here, right now.
That's it.
I
You
think
can
it
call
might-
in then. I'm sure you'll be calling in then.
I think it might set off the YouTube censors though, and I don't want to do that just yet. So
Okay.
let's just, kind of just watch that.
All right. Okay. Anyway, nationally again, the Miller investigation is wrapped up. Okay, we're going to get to that for sure. That may take another show, but we're going to try to get it to the end of the show. The floods, those in our family demographic
man.
that have been suffering maybe with the floods in Nebraska,
Yeah,
Missouri,
that's-
Kansas, areas like that, Iowa, even Illinois.
I
Godspeed,
personally,
God be with you.
I personally feel bad that I'm not on social media because I don't see anything like that anymore. If you depend on your local nightly news, which I don't, but I'm just saying I haven't seen anything on my radar. I'm sorry. I saw the Nebraska floods, and I'm sorry, man. Anybody that's going through that, hey, man, if you need some help, call me. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can.
We tried to contact our in-laws in Nebraska, Omaha, Brian
think they're
and
getting-
Yolanda Mendoza, but
They're not getting flooded, are they?
I don't know. They said Omaha was, but we hadn't heard anything, and hopefully they're okay. Anyway, I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl. If you did, we did that show. We didn't. We did a little bit, but I didn't get to see the ad. Bud Light and Miller Coors are in a feud now, lawsuit feud, because Bud Light had said something and in the commercial and used that they don't use corn syrup in their beer. And to quote through Getty, says Scott Olson, two beer giants are gearing up to fight out their differences in court. In one of the biggest ad campaigns from the 2019 Super Bowl, a Bud Light King, a Bud Knight, and the Wizard went on a journey to return a massive barrel of corn syrup to its rightful owners, Coors Light and Miller Lite. The message, Bud Light does not brew with corn syrup. Okay, then they got.
So wait. So that's basically AB InBev going after SAB Miller.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And now they just went on. The Super Bowl was what in February or the end of January?
You asking
Maybe
me?
2 months ago. So how much Bud Miller Light drinkers went to Bud Light in that time? I think Bud Light probably made enough to pay for this lawsuit.
Yeah, dude. Listen. If you're a Coors drinker, if you're a Bud drinker or whatever, first of all, you're drinking piss beer. Okay, get on something else. Okay.
Now we're not being discriminatory about your fruit or the malt.
And I hate to like change the subject, but on the subject, listen. If Michelob Ultra is your go-to stuff, then you need to just quit drinking beer altogether because you'll never know. You'll never know a good beer even if it slaps you in the face. What you need to do is hunt down the Michelob Light and start drinking that.
Man,
because,
what
dude,
a beer.
That blows Michelob Ultra away in every way, shape, or form.
You can't even find it.
See, it must be cheaper. It must be cheaper for Michelob, whoever brews Michelob, to brew the Ultra because they push Ultra out the wazoo.
I think Ultra is like a yuppie.
Yeah, and everybody's drinking Ultra, but the better beer is Michelob Light. I'm
Man,
sorry,
what a beer.
It's not even close.
3.5 years ago.
Oh, my God.
I took my last sip. I can still taste it. But anyway, that lawsuit's going on and Bud Light slinging and Miller. But like I said, that happened a couple of months ago, and everybody who switched over from Miller Light to Bud Light, gosh, I mean, they made millions already on it. Figure it out. So
Yeah,
the lawsuit is paid for.
But they need to bring back those frogs, the Budweiser.
Yeah.
That was the best marketing campaign. It was better than Spuds McKenzie, I'll tell you that much.
Well, did they have the Bud Bowl anymore?
I was talking to somebody about that the other day and saying, man, I remember many years, the Bud Bowl was better than the Super Bowl.
Well, I always wanted the Bud Bowl to be against, like, the Michelob Light Bowl, things like that.
I'm not going to lie. Animal Planet has the Puppy Bowl, and 3 years in a row, I've watched Puppy Bowl over the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't even like dogs. I mean, not that I don't like dogs. I don't have a puppy. I'm a cat person.
Well, there you go. You'd have all the German beers, and you'd have all the Italian beers, and everybody against each other would be a big tournament. But, I mean,
Yeah, we'd have World War beer.
We're getting off.
World War beer.
But anyway, that's LSU basketball on the forefront again, and I really think that LSU has a good chance as anybody against anybody. You thought they were going to maybe lay down and not play well because they didn't have their head coach Will Wade. Well, they proved that wrong, and they proved that they can play without their coach. And again, like I said, the matchup, Michigan State has got that Tom Izzo tourney savvy. And they're big, and they always have a good team, and they're the number 2 seed, and LSU's number 3. So that kind of gives you something to work on and think about. But I believe the line's already started, and the line's anywhere from 6 points to maybe 10, 11 points favoring Michigan State. So
yeah, look, in all truthfulness, I just want to get my little take in before we go to break. Get my little take in of the what I saw this weekend. Okay. The media sucks that kid's Zion. Do they suck Zion so hard? And Duke won by 1 point today?
Today, yeah.
Come on. I mean, they were playing that guy from UCF?
UCF, big 7'6" guy.
Like Manute Bowl or something.
Yeah.
The second coming of Manute Bowl, and that's understandable. Right. And look, I like Zion. He's a good kid, but, he's like, you got to be leery of somebody that the media just sucks and sucks and sucks. And it's like, man, there's 1,000 other kids out there playing ball, Come on, man.
They're just making him richer as far as I'm concerned. But another basketball note I'd like to say, Shaq is going to be pushing.
Yeah, the Shaq that is
what
on
pizza?
The floor.
Little Caesars? No, not Little Caesars. Which one?
Which
one the guy?
I like Papa John's pizza.
Oh, yeah, Papa John's
and
pizza.
Domino's
Man, I forgot. I'm sorry about that.
I like even CC's.
Yeah.
I go to the buffet.
I mean, he's already pushing the General Insurance. He does that icy hot. I mean, what a guy, man.
General.
The smartest man in America. It's at 7'5" or whatever he is. 300.
Icy hot.
405.
In the Gold Bond medicine when my food gets.
All right, Shaq. Enough with Shaq. Anyway, we're going to hit to break, and we're going to get back on the Mueller investigation, which is going to take the rest of the show out.
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna get serious, everybody. So if you came
we're not
for
going
the
to take 22 months to do it, but just maybe 10 minutes of your time.
right, if you came for the BS, then go ahead and turn it off now because we're about to get serious.
That's it. Back to the
All right.
race.
See y'all in a little bit.
You are listening to The Joe Show with Big Joe and Little Joe.
Email the Joe Show at joejoeshowb54@gmail.com.
I was slipping into darkness. Yeah.
Coming at you. And now, the news.
That's it. You've waited all this episode of the Joe and Joe Show, number 9. Number 9. Yeah, I'm just as disgusted at this whole thing as you probably are. And if you're a never Trumper out there, boy, egg on your face. First of all, look, let me tell you, Joe and Joe Show, I know I don't support any political candidate, okay?
Not really.
No, I
I don't
don't.
either.
They're all full of BS all the way around, whether it's China, Japan, Russia, Putin, Berlusconi, the Italian Prime Minister.
All
But you
getting
know
rich.
what? There's been a pushback over the last couple of years around the globe. Look at England trying to break from the European Union. Look at all the pushback directed at Merkel from Germany, the German people. Look at all the people that are fed up with the French Prime Minister. God, what's his name? I forget his name. He's so insignificant right now because he's a puppet. He's a puppet.
Puppet
Look what's
Le Pew.
happening. Look what's happening in Venezuela. They're trying to
Yeah.
go free market capitalism.
Hey, excuse me, Little Joe. Russia just sent a couple of planes over there with 100 troops on the ground today.
To Venezuela?
Yeah, with 100 troops. I don't know, strategic
And you're
command
telling
and
me
all
about
that stuff.
right now live? You should.
Well, I mean, come on. Let's stick where we're at. But I'm just letting you know that just came to my head. I read it today.
Sorry, everybody. I was at a party earlier. Anyway,
That's
so
right.
look,
Eating
so
crawfish.
Look, yeah. So look. So the Mueller investigation, we all knew was BS from the jump. Okay. If you know politics, if you followed anything, you knew it was BS from the jump. Okay. And if you didn't know, I'm about to tell you what you wasted your time on. Okay. The witch hunt. Here we go. Mueller's witch hunt. You had 2,800 subpoenas. 2,800 people subpoenaed.
22 months worth.
You executed nearly 500 search warrants. You had 19 lawyers working on the case. And you had a team of 40 FBI agents, intelligence analysts, forensics accountants, and other staff that we don't even know. And the team interviewed approximately 500 witnesses. Now, this was according to the AP. So don't go, oh, where'd you get those figures from? The AP, what, they're a BS organization? Yeah, they should be. They probably are. But that's not the point. The point is you expended all this energy. You spent all this time to know what? To know something that you already knew. Getting into it. And all this was there to deflect the heat off of the Clintons and the Obamas because they were dealing with Russia. Because they had dealings with Russia.
They's the one that got the dossier going from
Yes,
Russia.
exactly.
Yeah.
So where, if you didn't know this already, where have you been? And if you didn't know this already, and I'm telling you now, and you still don't believe it, then
Well,
I don't know what to tell you.
The
I really
consensus,
don't.
the consensus of people that have chimed back into the show, or the consensus of the people when I do a Facebook post about this and that, it's all the same thing. Completely sick and tired of it. 22 months and $25 million plus, which that's just tip of the iceberg. All these people that they uncovered, they threw in jail, indicted. Okay, yeah, well those people get indicted. Those people get arrested. Campaign financing is the biggest corruption take and money grab that you can possibly get involved in. But there was no Russian collusion. And then just to put it on the presidency of Trump for 22 months, I know what he is. He's a Twitter king. I know what he does. He's trying to do good. But with this ball and chain of 22 months, come on, man.
Yeah, look at what they should have been investigating, and that's going to bring me to my next point. Does anybody out there know what Q is?
Q?
Because I'll tell you what Q is.
The letter Q.
Yeah, Q is somebody, I don't know who it is. It's somebody that's been posting on 8chan, which is an anonymous posting site, okay? Somebody that's been posting on 8chan, but you know what? Most of all Q posts turn out to be true. And this is happening before it's news. You get what I'm trying to say? So somebody, it's either Trump himself or somebody really close to Trump has been posting this stuff since 2017. And the people that have been following Q are now like the news. Now the sycophant media, the alphabet media is now taking things from Q and acting like, oh, they're seeing it now. Whereas a year ago they were trying to discredit the whole Q movement. And if you don't know what Q is, go look up. Just Google. You got that phone in your hand. Google QAnon. ANON, like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's QAnon theory, and you're going to come up with all kind of BS, don't get me wrong, but there's plenty of people on Instagram that can show you the right way. And I know I hate to sit here and say, whoa, yeah, follow people on Instagram, but you know what? The media that you've been following, the ABCs and the CBS and the NBCs, they've led you astray because they're all controlled by guess who? By guess who? The bad guys, the CIA. That's right. I hate to say it, and I can't believe I'm sitting here even trying to explain this, but you know what? That's what it is. The bad guys have been sending you on a wild goose chase to believe that Trump was actually the bad guy.
Right.
And Hillary and the Clintons and the Obamas, they were on the up and up. No, they weren't. They are actually the bad guys. And you know what? What Q theory also suggests is that bad things are coming for those guys who tried to bring all this against Trump. Yeah, you want to see indictments? Yeah. Indictments are coming from the Mueller investigation, all right, but it ain't who you think is going to get indicted.
Yeah, and I think that's what the Democrats want to add more to it. And Nancy Pelosi said today that, no, we need more. Whatever AG Barr says, we need it. We need the transparency of it, and we need it now so we can form our committees and find more. You can't impeach the president now. Barr went as far as say, there won't be much. I mean, may be some exoneration. There may be not. But, I mean, bottom line is, just like Little Joe said, the other side that started all this or has been pushing this to try to run a coup, COUP, on the U.S. presidency, they're the ones that constructed and concocted all this collusion. And if you're like me and you're like half the people you talk to, we're wasting our time talking about it because you've heard it for 22 months, but it's true. This BS needs to stop.
Yes,
I
right.
think.
No, it needs to stop. I mean, I've never seen any coordinated political attack against a sitting American president ever in my whole entire life.
Every day.
I'm sorry. So look, I'm following, this is one of the Q accounts, WWG1WGA_. Okay. He posted, breaking, Special Counsel Mueller clears all 4 Trump advisors on whom Comey FBI opened espionage investigations. Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, General Michael Flynn, and Paul Manafort of coordinating or conspiring with Russia in hacking or trolling activities during the election. Do you know what that means? That nobody's guilty. That nobody, even the guys that went to jail aren't even guilty. You know, even the guys that you would accuse that the mainstream media tried to get up there, like, you know, like show trial and stuff like that, they're not even guilty of colluding with the Russians. You know? I know there's, since the Cold War, Russia, U.S. have been back and forth, sleeping with, the enemy, things like that. Just all for either peace or no nuclear bombs and wipe everybody and everything off of the face of the earth. But, I mean, for this to perpetrate this for so long and to have
other sources other than what you see at 5:30, 6 o'clock every night while you're eating your supper, or when you come home from work and letting them say that Trump, bad, Trump, bad, collusion, Russia. Man, it's got to stop. And now the Democrats are going to bring this
the Democrats
all the way again for the rest of his presidency. Let's face it.
That's one thing that Q posted, that Q posted on the 8chan or whatever, that even before this all dropped, that after the Mueller investigation was come out with the report and everything, then the Democrats' plan was to haul Mueller himself in front of Congress. Like, now he's the bad guy because he didn't find anything on Trump or anything like that. No, dude, listen, this is high treason. This is high treason at the highest level. The FBI, the CIA, the Department of Justice, the even people in the senators. And speaking of a senator, I got somebody on audio, and it's something that you're gonna like if you kind of supporting and believing what we're talking about, okay? So, should we go to that audio right now, Joe?
Well, yeah.
All right. Now, this is Maria Bartiromo talking to Senator Doug Collins, Republican from Georgia. Okay, now stay with me, everybody. Stay with me and pay attention to the audio, okay?
Joining me right now is the top Republican on that committee who made those transcripts public, Georgia Congressman Doug Collins. Looking at these transcripts, it's pretty clear of an issue that our viewers know very well, and our viewers have followed this for upwards of a year and a half, and they know from the beginning that there was no collusion and that these transcripts show an incredible amount of bias. Let's talk about some of the transcripts that you released. Peter Strzok's hatred of Donald Trump's influenced the investigation and evidence against Donald Trump. This was John Ratcliffe interviewing Peter Strzok, and this was after the text that said, Lisa Page says to him, he's not going to win, right? No, we'll stop him. And after that, Ratcliffe says, did Peter Strzok's hatred of Donald Trump influence the investigations and evidence against Donald Trump? Guess we'll never know, because he was never asked by the special counsel if, in fact, his hatred of Donald Trump influenced the way he handled this investigation, correct?
I think what we got to do is look at this as you're going to know, because you can look at the proof, and that's why we're laying out the transcripts as we have. Peter Strzok was a man who thought he was untouchable. He became a hero in his mind's eye, and thinking that he was going to be able to control, and sometimes maybe showing off for his mistress at the time, Lisa Page, let's never forget that, but also in his own role to grow up in the department. Peter Strzok was central going back to the email investigation, into the Russia investigation, into what became the Mueller investigation. So what we're seeing here is, yes, we see the bias. The transcripts reveal the bias. And when we see that Mr. Mueller actually got rid of him based on, his actions and those texts. So I think when we look at this together, we get a picture of someone who was brought up or allowed to grow, if you would, under the Department of Justice under President Obama, in which politics became the foremost word, not justice.
Yeah, I understand. So in other words, they were very heavy-handed with the investigation into Donald Trump on flimsy evidence, and yet they were very light on the investigation of Hillary Clinton. Another tweet that your colleague John Ratcliffe put out was after he interviewed Lisa Page, and you released this transcript as well. And he says, Ratcliffe writes, Lisa Page just confirmed to me under oath that the FBI was ordered by the Obama DOJ not to consider charging Hillary Clinton for gross negligence in the handling of classified information. Walk us through this tweet. So they all thought Hillary Clinton was guilty, but they were told from the DOJ, don't even think about it?
This is there was two things that really came out of this, and I think one of the things was we just spoke about, and that seemed to be of that corrupt triumvirate of Page, McCabe, and Strzok. Strzok seemed to stand out as his very aggressive nature on what he thought about the president and his political bent. The second thing that really came out from this Lisa Page was this time, as I said, and I put out another tweet the other day, it says Loretta Lynch has some explaining to do, because what we have seen now is that beforehand she not only told Mr. Comey that this was not an investigation, to consider it considered a matter, which is an interesting way of putting it. But also now we're seeing from Lisa Page's own testimony that the Department of Justice, which she headed, was saying gross negligence is not the standard that's going to be used here. They began to import what's called intent, which is not part of the law. So really from the early on, from April, May, and we know from May when Mr. Comey started writing, the group came together, and they were going to look at gross negligence, but then began to write an exoneration of Ms. Clinton long before they ever even interviewed her. So we know this was coming from the top. So we now have a pattern here. Look at the pattern. You have Department of Justice and FBI on their own agenda with a political bent, hoping for Ms. Clinton to become president. That's sort of the takeaway over these first 3 transcripts.
And this was way before Loretta Lynch, then the AG, had a meeting on the tarmac with Bill Clinton just a few days before Hillary had her interview with the FBI, right? This was even before that.
Oh, very much so, Maria. We look at this. That was closer to the time when she said, I won't be a part of the prosecutorial decision, which all of a sudden, in many ways it's become evident now gave James Comey what he believed was his Superman cape to go do whatever he wanted to do. But this was already in the works. Lisa Page transcripts confirmed this. This is why we release these in the way we're releasing them, so that people can begin to see what's happening here. We were in this investigation. Democrats and others were saying, why are you going back? Why are you doing this? They made fun of the investigation the whole time. Well, now they've got a problem. I believe Mr. Mueller's report is going to come back and show that there was no collusion, which, by the way, is not a crime, but there's no collusion, nothing with the Trump administration, what they're going to find in the president himself. But what they are going to have to deal with now is the reality of influence and collusion among DOJ and FBI employees in an email investigation which was handled badly, that moved into a Russia investigation that was handled even worse, and then into a Mueller investigation. So these are the kind of things that the American people deserve to see, and that's why we're putting them out.
Now, Jim Baker was the key lawyer for the FBI. You've got transcripts on him as well. He had a closed-door meeting, and my sources say that in one of his meetings, he admitted that he wanted to charge HRC. He thought Hillary Clinton was should be convicted of gross negligence. Now, are you going to be releasing that transcript soon?
There'll be more transcripts released. Baker will be one that we're looking at releasing. And yes, there has been some leaked information that Mr. Baker actually had that exactly what you talked about. This is why this is important, Maria, and I don't want any of the folks watching today to forget this. This is a pattern. This is not something that randomly happened. I'm tired of, really the mainstream media saying the FBI was investigating Ms. Clinton. No, there was a group that was investigating and told that they couldn't do their job. Remember, she was not even interviewed till late after they had already started this discussion with the DOJ officials, probably including the Attorney General. She headed it, saying that we can't charge gross negligence. So they already knew the outcome, but went through the process. And Lisa Page's transcripts also reveal the fact that this was, sort of unusual. We also saw that with Strzok. We've heard it with many of these. That why would they interview a key witness, Ms. Clinton at the time, with key witnesses or fact witnesses in the room who had been granted immunity?
Yeah.
This just goes back to show the 2 layers of justice. There was a layer for Ms. Clinton, and then there was the level for Mr. Trump. They were not equal, and people understand it, whether you're a Republican or Democrat or independent or don't care.
Oh, sure.
You can't have a Department of Justice like this.
Audience.
You heard that, Joe?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Did I hear that correctly? You got Doug Collins, a senator on the House Judiciary Committee, talking about these guys, these people that were bringing all this against Trump. They knew it wasn't going anywhere. They knew it was BS. Right. They knew they were going after him in basically in illegal fashion. And what? You think something wasn't going to happen? You think people were just going to sit by on their hands? Oh, well, they're just doing it. There's nothing we could do. They're untouchables. No. Somebody somewhere is pissed off. Somebody somewhere is mad. And somebody somewhere, whether it's Doug Collins, whether it's Trump, the Trump team or whatever, they're going to go after these people with the brunt of the law.
I mean, there was 2 sides, like they're saying, explaining. There was 2 sides of the investigation. There was overview and passing over things on the Clinton side, and then on the Trump side, I mean, it was full force, Armageddon to get out everything on him. So wonder, and I thought about this coming in, Peter Strzok, whatever the thing is, he did his job, and then now he's where he's at now with all this stuff and in trouble, and the Mueller investigation is going to prove possibly he did wrong. I don't see him living too much longer if the Clintons are around.
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Well, I mean, I was explaining to my wife, there's a death trail with
Yeah,
those
no,
Clintons
there is,
somewhere
there
around.
is,
I
dude,
counted
there-
3 people at least already.
Yeah, in the past like month.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I know, dude. Listen, I didn't want to get into the Clinton body trail, but you know what? It is a real thing.
That's
and
it.
Yeah, like, you ever seen those memes where they have, what was that guy in New York, that was showing his, Wiener,
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner.
Yeah.
You ever seen the memes when then what was Huma Abedin's like whispering into it?
No.
And what is she saying? She's saying, "Hey, Hillary wants to know, did you want a heart attack or did you want a suicide?"
There you go. There you go. I mean, look, let's face it. Get back to Collins, man. I mean, that information right there. And don't get me wrong, people. At my work, I'm listening to conservative radio. I'm listening to liberal radio too or a liberal media when I go home. And like I said, sit in front of my TV because that's the thing to do. Believe it or not, and then I'm trying to chastise it and trying to inform my wife of the other side.
Yeah.
And she only and basically that's what it is. She don't have anything to do with it, don't want to hear it. Life in the world goes on, which is true. But I'm thinking about the life in the world for my kids
That's
and
it.
my grandkids
That's
and
it,
my
bro.
great grandkids.
That is it. That's it. I want a world in my child can come up and his children can come up to where that things are leveled back out again, because right now in our government and our system of government, it's not level. And this highlights the fact that it's not level. Okay, but if we could turn that tide as Americans and get to a different way of thinking, then it will be level.
I mean, we make mistakes. We're not perfect here. I don't know. The CIA may come and shut this down. I don't know. But we're just letting our side go and letting our opinion on it. And, I mean, you formulate your own opinion, and it's just to maybe wake up and see what we see. And we don't feed off of it. We got normal lives. It's not. We're more worried about LSU basketball right now, I'll tell you, than this thing.
I'm worried
and
about
I'm glad
Oklahoma
that
football.
Oh, well, Oklahoma football too, but I mean, our football in general. But I mean, this thing's going to blow over, and it's just going to either get worse or heads are going to roll from the other side.
Listen, you
But it's
heard
complete asinine to think that we went through this 22 months and these Democrats aren't going to let it go till I
Right.
guess they want
Right.
Trump impeached or walk around the White House
Right.
like Nixon did and talking to Abe Lincoln and George Washington.
Right. But, in all truthfulness, all you lamestream media out there, if you're still watching and believing what they have to say, then you need to turn them off and go seek out other forms of alternative media, and not the fake ones either. You got to know who's real and who's fake, and I know that's hard to do, but you just got to do your research. The main topic that you have to take away from today's show is that there was no collusion, there
None.
was no interference, no
None.
Russian interference, and the only people who had dealings with the Russians were the Clintons and the Obamas and the Democrats, because they're the ones that tried to get Trump in trouble to cover up their own crimes. You have to understand that. This is treason. This is treason at the highest levels. This is treason at the highest levels, okay? Saying that right now, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap the show up. And that's the end.
That should be the end of the collusion.
You are listening to The Joe Show with Big Joe and Little Joe.
Email The Joe Show at joejoeshowb54@gmail.com.
Okay. Man, that was good topics today.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to the marijuana minute. We didn't get to a lot of different things. I mean, hey, I got a life too. I got the weekend too. I'm partying. You think I want to get up here and talk about some stuff I really don't want to talk about? I want to talk about other stuff.
We can't wait to get to football,
Right.
spring football, and then football season.
But you know what? Like, I want people to know out there, people that know that I have these different opinions, and my family members, they know I don't mess around.
That's it.
Even my friends that know me from 10, 20 years ago, man, I wonder what he thinks about that. Well, you know what? I told you what I think about it. I can go into further detail. Why don't you call me? Look, I got a phone right here. Message me on Instagram or something like that. We could talk about it at length.
Hey.
I'm just giving you the little rundown that we could do on the Joe and Joe show. But you know what, dude? Listen, I think the tide is turning politically in this nation, and you know what? It's about time.
Well, yeah, and we're not slinging this right-wing hooey out there just to say pro-Trump, go Trump, this and that. Just wake up. I mean, he won the election, okay, and these people haven't forgotten it. But you know what? It was a lighter note. All these movie stars and celebrities were going to move out of the country when Trump... Yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot all about that.
And that's another story, but, Whoopi Goldberg was sick. She left The View for about 30 days, and she nearly died. I thought she had moved to Canada. But, I mean, that's just what I thought, because I don't watch The View.
We wouldn't be that lucky. She's not going
I know.
anywhere.
And those who were supposed to pack up, they didn't pack up. And this is America, man. Love it or leave it. And that's the way it's been. And it's another story. We don't have enough time to do it. But I tell you what, we try to stay on top of it and be informative to you. And family, friends, listeners out there, keep on listening if you can. And tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right or whatever. And if you want to. I mean, but we're going to come back. We never give up. And we're going to be here for show number 10.
Yep, show number 10 will probably be dominated with more NCAA tournament. I could see it already. More NCAA tournament we'll talk about. We'll get back to the marijuana minute. Venezuela news. Let's see. What else? Help me
baseball.
out, Joe.
Baseball starts.
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball. I mean, MLB.
Tournament.
Those who like it, go Stros.
Yeah. And I don't want to talk about this Mueller thing ever again. I really don't. It's over.
Let's see how over it is. We've had a great show, Joe. You did well.
Yeah.
All this technology, I know it's kind of condensed in this little bitty room, but he makes this thing work. This guy's a genius on that, and so is his son, my grandson, the Bambino.
Okay, man, you know where to hit us up. Joe and Joe Show. You can hear the promos on the show, so holla at us. We'll see y'all later next time.
And for all you little buckaroos, say your prayers and drink all your milk.
Yeah,
Good night.
I'm drinking milk right here.
I know you are. Good night.
You are listening to The Joe Show with Big Joe and Little Joe.